welcome back to my live. It's showtime, baby. I love when YouTube says it's showtime. Yes, we are here. We are live. Please kindly share, like, subscribe to the channel. If it's your first time of clicking to watch any of my live videos, my name is Kemi Ogunro, and I'm a weight loss coach. I'm also an author of a weight loss guide called Bounce Back. So I'm here to share my knowledge and to give information that I think is going to be life-changing. I decided to do this for free, right? Because I felt like this is the beginning of the year. This is where people would usually make the decision to change their lives forever, and rightly so, right? So we talked about how you can take advantage of a new year to set new weight loss goals, and actually how you can actually achieve them, and how you should shut your ears to the haters who are saying, okay, yeah, every new year you make this new resolution to lose weight and you never do. Well, this could be the year, right? You never know if you don't try and if you don't give it your all. So I delved into all of that yesterday at the same time, and I'm going to be going live as well tomorrow, God willing. So please be on the lookout. I'm going to be kind of tackling some of your weight loss myths tomorrow. I'm going to be tackling some of the things that information I think will be valuable to pushing you through your season of weight loss. With that being said, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the weight loss strategies for 2025, some of the greatest and the latest weight loss strategies for 2025. Listen, while leaving fat diets and quick fixes behind this year, instead we're focusing on proven, sustainable methods that actually work, okay? And if you're ready, let's dive in, all right? So the first thing that I want to emphasize is how we need to prioritize nutrient-dense foods. So with meals, I feel like I can write like a whole epistle on why your diet is so important in this season. So it's important to know that one of the things, I know you probably read this and it also sounds like I sound like a broken record when I say it, but one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself if you're trying to achieve weight loss is to focus on your nutrition. And here's why. I'm not gonna say that your exercise routine isn't as important, but I'm saying even without exercise, some people can focus on their nutrition and still achieve sustainable results, if that makes sense, right? So you want to focus on your meals. What are the quality of the meals that you're eating? Yesterday, I gave an instance using a plate where I said you want to focus more on plating. So let's say we have a plate, right? I'm just going to get a plate, a nice plate, right? I don't know if you can see this. I'm just going to put this up right here, right? So we're focusing on this plate as the plate size. And we want to use this plate, which I think is actually too huge, right? But this is just a design for a plate, right? This is just what do they call it? It's a charger plate. It's just for decor. But I'm going to focus on this circle right here. So I was saying yesterday how your meals, if this is what the quantity of meal that you're eating on a regular, you want to slash it into a half beginning, right? And out of this half, you want to make sure that your plates that you're going to be consuming, half of it is filled with vegetables, more than half actually, right? It's filled with vegetables, steak, and all of that, right? And then you want to make sure that you're focusing on low carbs. That's just one way to lose weight, right? To make sure that you're consuming low carbs, high protein content, and high vegetables. The reason why you'd focus on high proteins and high vegetables, high vegetable content meals is because they keep you fuller for longer. Much more than, getting you to satiety points on time, they also keep you fuller for longer because they have all the nutrients. So your body's already filled up when you consume that, right? So I notice how I didn't say completely eliminate carbs from your meals. I know that that's a thing. I know that I've used a low carb diet to actually lose weight, and it actually works. And yes, the weight loss was sustainable. But I'm saying if you're that kind of person that doesn't want to feel deprived, like you don't want to feel like you're missing out, you don't want to feel like, oh my God, do I really have to quit rice? Do I really have to quit all the potatoes? Do I really have to quit all the good carbs that I like? You don't necessarily have to, but you can portion control them, right? So that's another way. You have to prioritize nutrient dense foods. I was saying, like when you want to take a meal, for instance, if you take an orange, you want to start being conscientious, or being conscious rather, of all what you're consuming. You have to start thinking that, what is the nutrient I'm getting in this? What vitamin is this giving me? Right? You have to start being conscious of what you consume. Yes, you have to. So that's one of the way. First of all, you want to focus on eating whole nutrient foods. You want to think lean proteins, not just proteins, but lean proteins, healthy fats. Boiled egg is very good, right? Avocados are really good, right? Healthy fat, any healthy fat meal that you can think about. I love to say for people to snack on nuts. Nuts is a very, very good way to snack. I'm talking almond nuts, I'm talking pistachio, I'm talking yeah, some peanuts, but peanuts has to actually be very, very minimal. But you can snack more on almond nuts, cashew nuts as well. Then you want to focus also on fiber rich vegetables and whole grains. I believe I already gave an example of whole grains, like the nuts and everything. These foods they boost your energy much more than keeping you fuller. They help your body also burn fat effectively. Remember, you can't out exercise a bad diet, so let's fuel your body with the good stuff, right? So that's why I said, even if you work out and your nutrition, that's why I say your nutrition plays a valid role in your on your weight loss journey. You can work out for 3 hours at the gym, work out for 4 hours if that were possible, 5 hours, 6 hours, and then you go and you just crash it up with like an unhealthy diet. Then you're not going to see results that you want. Your results might come, but they'll be very, very minimal, right? So you want to really, especially if weight loss is your goal. I'm not talking about people who want weight gains, or who are trying to maintain their weight. Bear in mind that for weight loss, you have to be in a calorie deficit. I want you to always have that in mind, that this meal that I'm eating is just going to get me into a calorie deficit, thereby getting me into a weight loss. So those are some of the things that you definitely want to consider on this diet, right? On this journey. So you want to keep your diet really clean. And it doesn't mean that you have to deprive yourself, but as much as possible, I would say like 95% of your meals should be clean. Even if you're craving or you're feeling deprived, especially for women, when you're your period, you feel like you want to have a sweet tooth craving, you can take grapes. There are lots of healthy, very sweetened fruits that God has already naturally created for us. I'll say grapes are always my go-to, right? I always love to snack on grapes. I love bananas in my smoothies. They keep me very sweetened for me. And when I'm having like an oatmeal, I take bananas. Even some apples are actually really sweet when you think about it, right? So the next thing that I want to talk about is to embrace fasting, intermittent fasting. It's good that at the beginning of this year, beginning of the year, almost all the body of Christ is on a fast. And I spoke to that, how you take advantage of that in my video yesterday. So on my live, you want to definitely catch up on that. So you want to embrace intermittent fasting. You want to set an eating window for yourself. You don't want to be eating all through the day, no matter what anybody says. And I know that there are videos where that they talk about you don't have to skip breakfast if you want to lose sustainable weight. You don't have to. I haven't proven that to be true in my experience. What has worked for me is intermittent fasting, getting me to a calorie deficit, right? Because what happens with intermittent fasting and why it's still one of the top weight loss strategies for 2025, it's flexible, it's simple, it doesn't require calorie counting. So say for instance, you are going to eat breakfast, right? You would then have to make sure that you're counting the calories in your breakfast and making sure that the calories in your lunch, the calories in your dinner, all of it sums up to you being in a calorie deficit, which also means that your output as well, you have to make sure that you're working out more and then consuming less. And then that's how you get into the calorie deficit. If at all you feel like, for instance, some people are ulcer patients, but they still want to make sure that they get their breakfast, their lunch, and their dinner, rightfully so. Bear in mind that I'm not saying that breakfast is a bad thing. I'm saying your breakfast can actually be maybe like a smoothie. It could be like maybe some light protein, like some fried eggs, and, just avoid carbs as much as possible during your breakfast, because you want to minimize the number of calories, because you're going to be counting your calories if you're not doing intermittent fasting. So those are the alternatives that you have. If you don't want to go the fasting route for some reasons, maybe personal reasons, lifestyle reasons, medical reasons, or health conditions, that's completely fine. You can still lose weight, but you just have to make sure that you're focusing on counting your calories and being on a calorie deficit. All right. So intermittent fasting is still one of the top weight loss strategies for 2025. It was in 2024, 2023, 2022, and back. And that's because people are still seeing getting results from intermittent fasting regardless. So you want to start with the 16-8 method. For instance, you fast for 16 hours and you eat during an 8-hour window. It's great for boosting your metabolism, and it also helps to control your hunger. So you'll find out that most of the time you are not really as hungry. You definitely want to eat as soon as you start to feel like a little bit of hunger pangs. You don't want to eat when you are overly hungry, like you've reached your point where you're even weak with hunger. But it just helps you to make sure that your body is burning the excess fat during that fasting window, right? Because like I explained yesterday, when the body is during its fasted state, it starts to look for the excess fats that you've previously consumed. Especially if you're overweight or obese, the body has a lot of fats that it needs to consume before it starts to get you in a calorie deficit, if that makes sense. That's just the process of the weight loss. So if, for instance, you're overweight, you're obese, the body will first of all focus and target the excess stored fat, the excess stored whatever it is, right? Glycogen or excess stored fat that is in the body. It begins to focus on that and begins to binge on that, binge on that, binge on that. And when all of that is depleted, then it starts to now focus on, some of the more recent fats, if that makes sense. So that's how why intermittent fasting is key to your weight loss. I just needed to break that down because some people might not understand, why do I have to fast to weight loss? And also fasting to weight loss and having like a minimal eating window also helps you focus on, most of the time you are actually eating in a calorie deficit when you break your fasting. Because if you have to consume, for instance, let's say you're consuming 300 calories in the morning, 300 400 for your lunch, maybe 500 for your dinner, you have to make sure that whatever quantity of calories that you're eating, your output during the day is also maybe over 2,000 calories that you're burning in a day. So you have to make sure that you're really, really not missing a workout in order to get you into a calorie deficit, if that makes sense, right? So as opposed to when you embrace intermittent fasting or fast fasting of any point, the meals that you eat, it will hardly get you to even 1,000 calories. So which means that you are actually in a safe consumption of calories, right? So that's why it's very, very important to fast intermittently. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is you have to focus on strength training. I know lots of people talk about cardio. Cardio is great, but strength training is the real MVP for weight loss. One thing that I realized was, as soon as I got this, I went into like lifting in the beginning periods of my weight loss. I would do cardio quite all right just to get my heart rate up, and then I'll focus on lifting weights because I heard that it was very, very important for the muscle to boost your metabolism, which helps to burn fat, and it gives you that toned, strong look, right? So you want to aim for 2 to 3 strength workouts a week, and don't be afraid to lift heavy. You are actually stronger than you think, right? So it could be something as little as something heavy at home. Even if you're working out at home, you could lift something heavy at home. Maybe you're like a bottle of water or a jar of water, your gallon of water. You could just get creative with that. I don't always encourage, because I know once people hear strength training, they tend to think, oh my God, I have to go get registered at the gym. Now, some of the strategies that I try to focus on is that you can actually lose weight at home without going to the gym. Yes, you can actually lose weight without being to the gym, not even for once, right? So you just have to make sure that you're focusing on the right things. So for instance, let's say you have like this heavy shaped thing that looks like for instance, like in my culture, we have yam, we have this bottle of water, your regular bottle of water. You could use them as as your dumbbells to kind of work out. You could like lift up whatever it is that is heavy, a sack of, vegetables, a sack of potatoes, whatever it is, just try to get creative. And if you then can afford it, you can also purchase dumbbells. But I'm just saying, for people that don't want to give excuses like, okay, I don't have the funds, I don't have the financials right now, how can I still achieve my weight loss? I got you, right? I got you, because I've really been there, and we all want to balance. We don't want to spend money on things that we don't think are investment worthy, if that makes sense. But I know that your health is always good investment. However, it might not be your priority as of now. So just to avoid the excuses, just get creative, see whatever it is that is around. But you definitely want to invest in strength training. And strength training, you could also use your own body weight as well by doing maybe push-ups as well. Whatever it is that you need to do, you could do some planks. You could do some mountain climbers, whatever workout that you know gives you strength or gets you all pumped up. You definitely want to do that, because strength training is actually very great for weight loss. Like I said, it boosts your muscles into metabolism and helping you burn fat quickly. So you definitely want to um do some strength training, was what I was trying to say. Now, with that being said, one of the things that I see that people struggle with, which brings me to my next point, is staying consistent with moving daily, right? So when I say working out, I hope that people also understand that working out could also mean dancing, right? You could also do some high intensity dance moves if dancing is your forte, right? Don't underestimate the power of small daily movement, whether it's like walking, gardening, dancing in your living room, staying active throughout the day. All of this adds up. If you don't have an app, I would recommend you download the Pacer app. It helps me to check, especially if you're someone who moves around with your phone a lot, you could put it in your pocket. It helps me to make sure that I'm getting my 10,000 steps daily. You could also buy the watch, the Apple Watch or any other brand that has the tracker to make sure that you're keeping active on a day-to-day basis. It just helps me to put me in check, because every time I say that I probably didn't even do up to 1,000 steps, I'm like, what? And that just anytime you do within, I believe anything less than 2,000 steps is like sedentary lifestyle, which means that you've been sitting for longer than you've been moving around. So you want to get yourself to anything above 5,000 steps as you begin, and then you want to walk yourself up to 10,000 steps daily, right? So don't underestimate the power of small daily movements, whether it's walking. Please, 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 walking is very, very key. I know that in order for you to get to like 1,000 steps, you need into 10,000 steps, you need to be walking for at least close to an hour, 30 minutes, somewhat, or an hour. It depends on how brisk you're walking. And you could also get like a walking pad at home if you can afford it. You get really good prices. It's very competitive on Amazon. You can get very good walking pads on Amazon, just so that you don't have any excuses, because it's literally right there. So team, no excuses, right? Just burn the calories. Team, no excuses. Just make sure that you're getting your walk. You can listen to some podcasts, whatever it is that's going to make it interesting for you. You definitely want to focus on that. So please, every step counts, whether you're moving, whether you're climbing the stairs. You could, even if you have staircase at home, you could also climb up the stairs like a couple of times. That is guaranteed to get you out of breath. I believe that's how the Stairmaster machine was coined, because it's a stairs really that you're just climbing. Sometimes you climb it in slow motion. You could use it as a strategy, but climb the stairs. Speaking of, I think I need to actually do some of that. And the Stairmaster machine is a great machine for workout. I know that I already created a video where I went on a Stairmaster for days consistently, and I was able to see results. I think I should even do an updated video on that and get back to the Stairmaster to see how much result I'm going to get with that. But it's very, very effective. It's a very, very effective routine to put into your day-to-day lifestyle, especially if you're a gym girly. If you're a gym girly, you know, right? So another point that I want to talk about on a weight loss strategy that's actually been very, very beneficial for me is to hydrate, right? Let's talk hydration. Water is your weight loss secret weapon. Did you know? Did you know that water is your secret weight loss weapon? And I want you to consciously now begin to think about the quantity or the glasses of water that you consume in a day. Do you think you're consuming adequate water? Now, here's why. It keeps you full. It also helps your body flush out toxins, because if you want to lose weight, you want to flush out all the bad fat or the bad toxins that you've been consuming previously, right? You want to start as a clean slate, and if you want to start as a clean slate, you have to wipe everything clear and clean and white, right? And water is your go-to for that. It also helps to boost your energy levels. Yes, when you drink water, there's that satisfaction, that sigh of satisfaction that you release when you consume that very first glass of water, especially if you've been thirsty for a long period. You're like, so satisfying. No, not soda. Soda is not satisfying, because you find that if you're thirsty after you actually consume soda, your body then starts to look for water, because the original hydration, the original thing that your body was looking for was actually water for it to get hydrated. So Water is definitely important. You want to aim for at least 8 to 10 cups a day, and add some lemon, some cucumbers if you need a flavor boost. Some people add some mint leaves, but you need to hydrate, 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 hydrate. Girl, you definitely want to stay hydrated. Your skin is going to thank you for it. Your body's going to thank you for it. You're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel less bloated. I also want to add here that if you love some herbal tea, you want to get into green tea, you want to also add some lemon in your green tea, you want to get into some apple cider vinegar, you definitely want to make sure that whatever it is, the variant of water that you want to do, either you want to keep it a flavored water, you want to keep it clear and clean, you want to keep it sparkling, you want to keep it filtered, you want to consume it with your herbal tea, you want to get some coffee, which I'm not really like a fan of for personal reasons. But if you're a coffee girly, you want to get as much but you can't take too much coffee is what I'm trying to say, because I know that's not good for the teeth enamel. But if you're a coffee girly, then try to get your water. What I'm just trying to say is try to get hydrated in whatever variants that you think that you can. But I would just like to keep it clean. For me personally, I just like to keep it clean. I can keep it flavored when I start to get bored, but get your gallon of water, get your 10 glasses of water or cups of water a day. Get it, get it, get it, get it, girl. Yeah. So the next thing that I want to talk about, I feel like this one is so underrated, is getting quality sleep. Yes, sleep is very important. I actually just woke up from a very long, satisfying nap, and I observed that when I woke up, for some reason, I just felt like my body had depleted so much calories. I just felt lean. I had to even go climb on the scale. And I realized that I actually burned calories in my sleep, right? So let's say, for instance, before I went off to bed, I checked my weight and it was, let's say, for instance, it was 81 kg. I woke up and I'm like, it's 80 kg. My body just feels like it was having a whole workout. It just feels like it had time to just kind of, flush out the toxins, especially after you wake up in the morning and you pee. Your body is just clear and clean and you feel lighter, if that makes sense. So you definitely want to make sure that you're getting quality sleep, right? This might surprise you, but sleep is just as important as diet and exercise. Yes, especially in your weight loss. If you are sleep deprived, and I've tried this before because I've worked a job that was overnight, and I was doing the same things that I was doing, but I wasn't getting the same results. When I was sleep deprived, I wasn't getting the same result as when I was going to bed and getting my 8 hours in. Regardless, the 8 hours in, the biological rhythm, the way God has already created for our body to function, there is nothing like getting a good night rest, right? So when I would work my night shift, I would go to bed, say for instance, around 7 a.m. and probably sleep till about 12 noon, 1, because sometimes your body just wakes up with the sun, right? Because there's just something about the sunlight. Even if your room is like dark, you just feel like, I just feel like I really need to be up at this time, right? So bear in mind that from 7 to 1, that's actually not 8 hours of sleep. And then before you know it, you have to do your regular day-to-day activities. If you have a busy lifestyle, you have some other errands to run, you run those errands. And then I was working, I believe it was from 9 to about 6, 9 p.m. to about 6 a.m. But I noticed that I wasn't eating as much. In as much as I wasn't eating as much, I wasn't feeling so hungry. I was feeling mostly thirsty. I would still check my weight at the end of the week, and the scale just wasn't binging for the way my diet, or what would I say, for the way my lifestyle was in terms of my nutrition. I was still exercising, right? I would exercise at noon, even though that was a drag. I would exercise at noon, and then I would just eat a little bit. But I found out that when I was sleeping for when I stopped that particular job, and then I was eating for the regular times that I needed to eat, like fast till 12 noon, probably eat at 3 p.m., have my last meal at 6 p.m., go to bed early, say 9, 10, I was already at bed and get my sleep up until 6 a.m. I observed that my body was actually cooperating, like it was losing the weight. So that's to tell you that I said all of that to just tell you the importance of sleep, and not just sleep, quality sleep, right? Lack of sleep can actually mess with your hormones, and it can actually lead to weight gain. So I found out that not only was I not losing weight, I was also starting to bulk up because I wasn't getting sleep, and I was also very cranky. And so you want to aim for like 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every night. When I mean quality sleep, try to get like your best position, try to make sure that you're not tumbling and tossing, try to make sure that you're getting good sleep, and watch your energy and progress begin to skyrocket. I say the energy level because I observed that when I wasn't getting sleep, I would also wake up between the 7 a.m. to 11 to 1 p.m. or 12 noon that I would sleep. I just noticed that my energy level would be so low. I would be so cranky, as well as my progress was non existence as well. But it's funny how as soon as I just switched to getting quality sleep, it was like, man, life is good, and my body just began to become normal. It took me a couple of days to get back into the biological rhythm and all that, but yes, it definitely does contribute to weight loss. So as much as getting quality sleep is important, I want us to also speak on our lifestyle, right? So it's important to manage stress, right? Manage your stress like a boss. Stress can actually sabotage your weight loss goals. So you need to get it under control. So you need to try things like meditation. If you need to go for some massage, get you a nice masseuse who could just, walk all the body, the joints, the bones, the back, and as well as journaling, and even just taking a few deep breaths, stretching, having a calm day. It might be a day where you're not necessarily doing like high intensity workout or some cardio, just having like a slow living kind of chill day where you just do some stretches, you focus on your neck, focus on your body, your back, just focus on stretching. It could be some Pilates, it could just whatever it is, but you have to learn to manage your stress, right? Because a calm mind, it also leads to better choices, because you find out sometimes for some people who are emotional eaters, I know that for me, when I'm upset, when I'm stressed, I tend to eat more, right? I tend to binge eat a lot more. I just go to the fridge, whatever it is, because I look to food for comfort, right? So that's why I say stress can sabotage your weight loss goals. So personally, when I was battling like a season of my life where I was feeling like depressed or whatever, and that was at the period where I was at my heaviest. So, and one of the things that I observed about myself, because even at your heaviest, you can still get some revelation, right? One of the things that I observed about myself was that I would just go into the fridge and look for whatever comfort food or whatever food seemed to me like comfort or whatever food was there. And that was when I was like, okay, let me go for soda. I just need something sweet, right? I'm not hungry. I'm not thirsty. I'm stressed. But the first thing that comes to my mind is look for food for comfort, right? Sometimes it could be like a chocolate. I'm not saying chocolate is bad, but when you begin to overeat and begin to look into these things, so of course, when you know that you're in a depressed state, know that this became a lifestyle. Like every day, every other day, someone will talk to me or say something to me, and I'll be like, "Oh my God, I'm so stressed. I'm so worked up," or stuff like that. I begin to look for juices. I begin to look for all the ice cream, all the cake, all the sweet tooth things. And I began to watch myself and observe that as I began to feel better from losing weight, I began to work out, get good sleep. I noticed that I was focusing more on making sure that I was relaxed, getting like some stretches out and all that, releasing endorphins day to day. I began to feel calm, and I asked God that, God, please, I don't want to be binge eating like this. And I began to observe. And so what my strategy was that I would make sure that I fill the fridge with like healthier options. So let's say, for instance, it was carrots, it was apples. I would just put them within eyesight. So there's just some power about putting healthy meals within eyesight. So on your table, and it then occurred to me that the reason why people would put like fruits, like a bowl of fruits on their dining, wasn't just because they wanted to do like some decor to make them feel like they're healthy, but also putting the healthy meals within eyesight. Sometimes I just grab like an apple and then I just crunch on it. Even if I'm mad, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna carry out the anger on this apple. I'm gonna demolish it, right? That's what I used to do with the unhealthy or highly processed foods. I'll be like, I need to demolish this to make me feel like I have power over something, over my stress, or to just calm myself down on my nerves, right? So I would make sure that I surround myself with like healthy options. I'm talking grapes, I'm talking strawberry, I'm talking apples, I'm talking pineapples, because that's my go-to girl. That's my favorite fruit of all time, right? So I would make sure that my fruits were within eyesight where I could just reach out for it in the fridge, and then I'll just eat it and calm myself down. And then I find out after that, I just kind of reach for water and I'm good. But so the change or the switch happened when I took out all the unhealthy options that would be in the fridge, as opposed to storing your fridge or whatever sweet thing was there, whatever things that you just felt, okay, this was a craving when I went to the grocery store and I just bought it. Even though you're not craving it right now, but because you're seeing it in the fridge, it becomes accessible, right? And whatever is accessible just becomes appealing to you, and you just want to reach out for it because you're mad, because you're upset. And I made sure that I stored my fridge as well with lots of water. With lots of water. And this one's funny because sometimes I'll go into the fridge, I'm like, I want to take some soda, but there was no soda. It was just water. So I'll reach for the water and just go and calm down and just sit my butt down, and I'll be good. So it made me realize that everything really starts with the mindset, right? So you really have to trick your brain, retrain your mindset to understanding that weight loss actually begins with the mind. In as much as we can go through all of these steps, strategies, you really need to be focused and be determined that, what do I want to get out of this? What is my weight loss strategy? What is my mindset now? What do I really need to change? I know that I've mentioned a plethora of points, but you know where you are kind of falling or lacking behind. Some of you could actually be binge eating, because there's been a survey to say a huge percentage of Americans actually binge eat, especially grown-ups. And there's also something, it's good that I mentioned this here, especially when you want to do like a movie night at home, or you're watching a program that you really enjoy. There's some, I believe it's ads, I believe it's programming, right? Some of these marketing ads have made us believe that just because you want to sit down and relax with like a Netflix movie, or you just want to chill with your family, the automatic thing to do is to get some chips, some healthy meals, and start chewing on it, binging on it. It just, because of the programming of the ads, because these ads, bear in mind that they're trying to tell you, show you why you need those things, right? So they show you some of those ads where people are hanging out with their family, having a barbecue, and they're just chewing all those highly processed chips, and you bought the idea, right? You're not questioning the idea, because you should be questioning the idea that why does it have to be chips? Why can't I be chewing on a carrot? Why can't I be chewing on an apple and having a good time? It could be some slices of apple with peanut butter. It could be celery with peanut butter. It could be anything else. It could be fruits, like a bowl of fruits. And I'm still chilling with my family. I'm still having a good time, still enjoying the movie. But now you have to kind of question some of the programming that you already have. I know I had to do a lot of this. I still do it on a day-to-day basis, because it's still a struggle. Because bear in mind, I've been exposed to some of this marketing, some of these ads, some of this programming is what I would call it. And if you watch the social documentary on Netflix, you definitely understand that some of these things are actually programming, right? Where you begin to say, and some of this, when I watched that documentary, I realized that some of the people who had started some of these apps or programs, or do some of these ads, they had to, why they're now coming back to now let us on the teas, because they had to quit because of moral reasons. So that lets you know that even they too felt some type of way. Why are you programming people as such? Have you ever seen an ad? And I need you to question yourself realistically. Have you ever seen an ad where they're sitting down, flexing, and just enjoying, having a good time with family, barbecue, or just outside, and you're taking like healthy fruits? Why? But why aren't there such ads? I guess because in order for them to kind of make us ditch all our healthy foods, they had to replace it with something, and they needed to put it in our faces to make us be convinced that those were the right options, when indeed those are not really the right options, if that makes sense, right? So anyways, I just wanted to talk about our mindsets and making you start to question some of the things that you're seeing on TV, some of the ads that you're consuming. You have to begin to ask questions. You have to begin to seek knowledge and say, why do I have the mindset that I want to watch a movie? I want to see a Netflix movie. I just want to chill with my family. And the next thing that I'm reaching out for is chips and some ranch, some avocado dressing. All of those things, bear in mind that their calories are very high calories. They are not nutrient dense. Most of them are not nutritious, if I'm keeping it for real. If you really want like a ranch or whatever, if you want to dress in an avocado dressing, go get you some avocado in its pure state. And even that is also high. It has high fat content. So you still have to watch everything you're eating. Who says that you just have to grab like a whole giant bowl of popcorn with sugar, with highly processed foods and begin to consume it, or some cookies? Who says that you have to do that? And I'm not just saying it to you. I'm also saying it to myself, because obviously I've been guilty of this. Sometimes I'm still guilty, but I just have, now that I'm saying it, helps me to kind of reiterate my point and to also walk in that consciousness that We need to. And one of the reasons why I know I'm just talking in bits and just going into it because I'm very passionate, as you can obviously tell. We need to actually start to fight for these things because it's moved past our generation. Some of my generations, millennials, were already parents, right? So you need to start, rewiring your children's brains to begin to say, oh, you know what? You don't necessarily have to reach for chips. You don't need the brands of Fritos, the Doritos, whatever. You don't really need that. In fact, if you can actually get them out of the house, that would be really good. But however, you can just say, you know what, let's get an apple. Let's even slice it. Let's get some pineapples. Let's slice it up, right? Let's get some whatever fruits they like, grapes, and let's just begin to eat it. Then when we feel that we still need the chips, of course, which kids will probably say we still need it. We still need it more. We still need it. But make sure that at least you're letting them begin to rewire them gradually. Bear in mind that this is not going to be an easy battle because we're still watching those ads on a day-to-day basis. So except to get rid of those ads and replace them with the right healthy option in terms of ads that are showing you healthier options, then we can begin to say, okay, the battle is we're winning halfway. But we have not even started with the battle because I think we just like to live in oblivion, right? So sometimes it could be some apple slices. I just try to get apple slices, get some grapes, get some apple slices. I put it in front of the table, make it appetizing. I'm like, you know what, guys, we're about to see a family movie. We're about to hang out. Let's just stay with this, right? And then we could do some water. So we do some other healthier options. There's a drink called Zobo in where I'm from, right? It's like a herbal drink, and then it's like I don't know how to describe the drink, but people that know it know it's Zobo drink. So we try to replace it with like our own homemade. We don't have to take soda. We do not necessarily have to take soda. We do smoothies a lot. Smoothies is my thing, so definitely I do smoothies a lot. But I'm just saying, begin to question yourself when you want to see a movie. Begin to question some of your mindsets. That is this really the way God intended it, or have I just been programmed and I need some reprogramming? Right? So you really need to watch your mindset because one of the biggest things that you can do to sabotage your weight loss is starting and beginning from the mind. So your mindset is really where everything begins to happen. That's where the magic really takes place. That's where you first get determined to lose weight. That's also what keeps you in check. And that's also what makes you begin to ask questions as well. That am I really making the right decision? Like, what is the long-term result as to some of the decisions that I'm taking? You begin ask yourself those questions. That is this really worth it? Some of the things that anytime I would crave something and I would almost want to reach out for it, I'll have to ask myself that, girl, Kemi, is this really, really worth it? Is this really worth you eating it? Like, if you don't eat it, are you really going to die? Are you going to really, really miss it versus the results that you see when you step on the scale? Like, you have to weigh which one is going to win. Is it the lesser evil, the greater evil, or no evil at all? Which one is going to win? The voice of reason. So you have to actually ask yourself some of these things, right? So another thing I want to talk about is, now that we mentioned skill, is tracking your progress, right? What you can measure, what you don't measure, you can monitor, right? So you have to be able to measure your progress. What gets measured gets managed, right? So you track your meals, you track your workouts. If you need to get a food blog, what's it called? A food log. You want to get a workout log. You want to get a day-to-day log, just like a journal. You don't have to buy anything fancy because I know that one of the things that people don't like to hear is you have to buy something. For me personally, it was a trigger. Once you tell me you need this log, you need this log, you need to buy this, buy that, I'm like, no, I'm done. Right? It doesn't mean that those things are not important, but in the long and the short, if you want to invest in a fitness journal, I would highly recommend that you invest in a fitness journal because it's going to be worth it. You really need to face look yourself in the eye and keep it real. I decided to go for an app because I felt it was realistic. I'll build my phone. I'll be like, okay, I just ate. Let me just put this in my log. And when I began to, put it in my log, like my fitness log or my nutrition meals intake, I was like, wow. When it will populate for me, and the reason why I like apps is because they cannot populate for you immediately almost what the calorie intake of what you just ate. Even if you didn't calorie count, it's going to count it for you. And then you begin to ask yourself, wow, that was really huge. Like, I didn't know that a banana actually had that many calories. Like, just one banana actually had enough calories to carry you through, was it a 2-hour workout? Yes, just one banana. And I was like, wow. And then so when I was in my calorie deficit, what it took for me to get a sweet smoothie without any additional sweetener was half a banana. Yes, in my blender. I'll put half a banana, and then it will make the entire smoothie sweet and delicious. No, and this is one of the things why I say some of us have been programmed, because now your level of sweet taste is also going to be reduced, because you find that when you take things that are so high in content of sugar, you notice, and when you reduce your sugar intake, you notice that this thing is actually too sweet. But some of us, our tongues are already been programmed to some high sugar taste, that even when we take those sugary things, we're like, it's still not sweet enough. I still want to add some sugar. I'm like, really? Do you have to? Do you really, really have to? I have a friend who was giving birth to, and all the while, because her both parents were professors of medicine, they never ever introduced sugar to any of their kids. It was when she got into college that she started to see people use sugar and honey as a lifestyle. And we used to look at her weird. We actually used to call her the weird one, because she had never tasted sugar. The only thing she would take would be a little bit of honey. And the way she used to mice the honey would be like, and she'd be like, oh yeah, it's sweet, it's fine. And we would taste it, and none of us were like, no, this is not fine, this is not sugar. And now that I'm talking about it, I feel bad, because it was last, when we talk about peer pressure, we think about it's only the bad things. Also in your food, the food that you tell, imagine me in college telling someone, no, no, add sugar, this is not sweet enough. Like, why? That's actually bad influence. That's peer pressure, right? And she'll be like, no, 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 this is completely fine. We're like, no, just try some more. And who knows, maybe she actually, got interested in the sugar. I just didn't really follow up. It was just one day, and I was like, okay, just add some more sugar. You're gonna enjoy it more, And sometimes she would enjoy, sometimes she would just say no, right? But she's one of the people who I know that has always been like a gym girly for us now. She's always been about that healthy lifestyle. And she was always like, you know what, this sugar that you guys are taking really isn't good. And imagine that she was born into a house where sugar was not even a thing. They never bought sugar. Never. So some of us really need to start to check some of the things that we are also the lifestyle is really just some of us self-sabotaging ourselves. We really don't have to think too much about weight loss and all. If we really just follow things by the book, consume your healthy vegetable, just focus on eating things that are naturally from the soil, from the ground, right? Whether it be your fruits, whatever it is that has just been natural, organic, are really what you just need to consume. And that doesn't mean that you need to overconsume. You just still need to portion control, because that is big. Anyway, why I was saying all of this was that you have to track your progress. You have to get yourself a fitness journal if you want, or you can just get yourself maybe a book, or just keep your progress. Just keep yourself checking what you're eating. And even if you don't want to, then that means you have to start calorie counting, and you need to document all that. Also, you need to also document your weight loss progress from time to time to know if you're doing the right thing per week, whether it's bi-weekly. Some people, in fact, it's actually been proven that people that check their weight each day actually have more sustainable results than people that don't check their weight every day. Yep, it's proven. You can Google it. Yes, people that actually get the most results in weight loss are people that actually check their weight from day to day, because it keeps you in check. It keeps you knowing that, okay, the numbers, this is going where it's going a direction where they carry, they go where, no, basically in a nutshell, right? It's taking you to a place where it's not favorable, right? It's taking you to a place that you definitely don't want to be, right? So you have to make sure that you're tracking your progress. You also need to find your support system. You have to look for a support system. And why I pick this as a point is because we're living in a world where sometimes it can get easy to get isolated. And sometimes you feel like you're just in a world of your own. You're just the only one that is being deprived. There's just this tendency where you begin to feel like I'm the only one that is being deprived of the good life. Everybody around me. No, not everybody around you is eating junk and processed food. Not everybody around you is eating junk and processed food. I will tell you that for free. Yes, I'll tell you that for free. So weight loss is easier when you've got a tribe. You want to find friends, family, an online community where you can even share your journey with. If you need a support system, also feel free to let me know in the comment section. I have a whole community. I have a tribe of ladies where we kind of support, keep each other accountable. It makes a huge difference because nobody wants to fail in front of another person. That's why the word embarrassment, comes into place, right? You get embarrassed, right? So to say, when you fall down in front of people, if you fall down, for instance, and there's no one watching, there's nobody there, you just fall by yourself, you are not feeling that emotion of you're not feeling that emotion of feeling embarrassed. But guess what? If you fall, even if there's just one person there, you feel like, oh my God, why did I just make a fool of myself? Why did I just trip and fall? There's just something about feeling embarrassed when people are there. So that's one of the things that could be why accountability is very important, because we all like to show that yes, I'm doing good, I'm a vibe, I'm getting results. So that competitive spirit makes people want to bring in their best foot forward. And so this means this is one of the importance of having a tribe. Just people wanting to show off their results, like, yeah, I got this, I worked out today, look at me slaying, I'm looking snatched, and all of that, right? And even when people fail, it takes people that are very intentional, very humble people to say, you know what, I failed this week, I didn't really do good, and all of that. But guess what? Because they've said this out loud, and they've said it to their tribe member, the next week they don't want to come and say it again. They begin to feel some sort of shame or embarrassment, like I'm a failure, right? And this can also be used as a positive reinforcement tool, where you're like, I want to take out, or it could be a negative reinforcement, whatever you want to call it. It's conditioning, right? Like in psychology, we call it conditioning, where you now want to like take out this feeling of failure by making sure that you don't fail again. You now make sure that you begin to push in, which is positive reinforcement. You begin to put in all your best effort, whatever it needs you need to do, whatever you like. You begin to watch yourself a little bit more when there's accountability and a support system in place. So that's why I say you need to find your support system. It could be just you and your sister, it could just be you and your cousin, it could be you and even your spouse, your partner, it could be you and a good friend, whatever it is. And if you need a tribe, just having a bunch of people that are cheering you on. Who says that nobody relishes when people are like, whoa, you did it? When people are clapping for you on the sideline, everybody loves some praise here and there, some affirmations like, wow, you're really killing it. You're inspiring me to just go for it. And just even being there, I think for me, because I tend to lead some of these groups, I also have to hold myself accountable in the sense that I'm at a pedestal where I have to also inspire people. I have to make sure that I come through every time. It doesn't mean that I don't share my falls. I share my falls a lot, especially when I know that one of my tribe members is starting to feel bad or feel gloomy about not seeing results. I share my failures. I share some of my difficulties. I like to keep it honest. And one of the advantages that God has given me is because I've also been overweight before. So I know how every person is feeling per time. So I can definitely relate. I call people on the side. I'm like, you know what, you got this. I begin to tell people my funny stories because I've been on that journey with you. And that's why you have to get you a coach who has actually walked the walk, talk to talk, and been about it, been about that life, right? I've been overweight. I've had kids. I've been, depressed for my weight. I've lost the weight, gained it back, lost the weight, gained it back, and that's why I feel like I'm the best person for you. So if you need help, I'm going to insert the link onto one-on-one consultation for free if you know you need help. And you also have to come correct and let me know why you think I'll be the best person for you to get you to the place where you need to get to. Please feel free if you're at this point. I can see you all watching. If you have any questions, please don't forget to put the questions. And don't forget to please hit the thumbs up button. It's literally the least that you can do for me. Also share if you feel that you've heard valuable content or you've heard any valuable message that has been passed across, and you know a friend or two who could, potentially gain from this. You could just say, oh girl, I think this year could actually be our year, and you feel like this is going to be valuable to them. You could share it on your status, share it whatever point you feel to share. It's just the least that you can do to contribute, because I just felt like I needed to come and do this to encourage people. I wish I had, someone who was coming and, just encouraging live every day. I'm going live almost every day. For the next couple of days, for 7 days, I want to go live and just share some of the information that I think is going to be valuable. I also have an ebook where I wrote in detail the step-by-step guide on how I was able to lose weight. I was able to lose 60 pounds within a space of, I believe it was 4 months. So that ebook is also going to be in the description box as well. So be on the lookout for it. It's going to change your life. Like, if you feel like I'm giving so many information, so many value right now, imagine when you get your hands on the book. And I'm not afraid to be someone who sells in the marketplace or tell you that it's going to be valuable, going to be life-changing. Even if you know that you don't want it, you don't need it, you can recommend it, you can gift it to someone. It's an ebook. All they need to do is read, download the information, and just implement. So your own part is just to implement some of the things that you need to do. You've heard so much. There's so much information everywhere. Even when you don't search around, there's just so much information everywhere. But the job that you have to do is to implement some of these things that we're sharing. So one of the things that I want to just kind of close out with is you have to learn to be kind to yourself. Finally, like, weight loss is a journey. It's It's not a sprint. It's not something that you're just gonna like boom. Because I see that some of the videos that really do well, even on our YouTube platform, is videos where you're like, I lost 100 pounds in like 10 days. Boom. You're gonna see views. Everybody's like, what? You got the sauce, give us the sauce. Everybody wants that drastic, and it's a generational thing. It's much more than even like for weight loss. We just want quick results, rapid results. As soon as I put rapid, rapid weight loss, everybody's like, boom, boom, boom. I want to see rapid weight loss. I want to see rapid weight loss. No, you didn't get fat, like permit my English. You didn't get, overweight overnight. So who says that it's just going to magically disappear? You have to be kind to yourself. You have to pace yourself, right? Be patient, but trust the process. If you do it for 1 week and you begin to see that the weight loss is coming off, that means that you still need to continue to keep seeing, that decrease in the weight. So just be patient. You have to learn to trust the process. And I think this is where some people actually hit that plateau where they actually need a coach and they need somebody, because most of my consultations that I do is where people are like, you know what, the weight loss is so slow, it's taking me so much time. Why? Because you want to slay, you want to post on the gram that you've been about that life, you've lost weight, you want to show that you're slaying. No, but the process is actually where the testimony is. The process is actually what's gonna make you valuable, to be able to sit someone else in the face and say, you know what, I went through this and you can do this. So you have to learn to trust the process, because the process is just as important as the result, if not more important than the result. The process is actually where you become. That discipline is actually where you become. The day-to-day, the battles that I fought, where I was like, I will be cooking for my entire family, guys. Imagine this struggle where you're cooking for your entire family. And you can't even begin to like binge eat some of these meals, because I was so dedicated to my journey. That was the point where I said to myself that, girl, you're disciplined. That was the point where I said to myself that you are disciplined. Like, even if nobody else tells you that you are, I need you to know that you are a disciplined person, because it takes a lot of discipline for you to cook, prepare meals for other people, and still not fall into temptation of tasting those meals. So I need you to celebrate how far you've come with your weight loss. Even just being here to even listen to this, it just shows that there's a part of you that is really willing to kind of make this change. So please don't hinder that part of you. Just go and see where it takes you to. Just go, just let it go, just release yourself to actually submitting into that accountability, into that, what will I call it? Just throw yourself, immerse yourself in it, and see the greatness that can actually come from it. I think some of the biggest things in our generation is that some people are not willing to immerse themselves into discipleship, accountability, or followership. We just want to be able to say, want to take all the glory, want to say, yeah, girl, I did it. We don't want to like actually, go through the process of the people that we are seeing that are great. But when they begin to share their process, then we begin to become humble, because in our head, this person just became so and so overnight. There were days that I cried. There were days where I was sad. I was like, God, is this really worth it? Why do I have to lose weight? Why is it that people that like, why can't I feel like I look good in the way I am. I'm okay. But it wasn't the best version of myself. And guess what? I felt good every time I would work out and I would eat healthy. It just made me feel like I was doing something right. And it shouldn't be, because this in intentionality, and when we think about it, should actually be our day-to-day lifestyle. But because the world has been so exposed, we want more highly processed thing. We get something processed, we want it more processed. That's why we are all here. So we're all suffering from decisions, actions that people before us have made, right? So those are my top weight loss strategies for 2025. I was able to give some inspiration, and please do not forget to share this, to like, and to also leave me a comment. If you're on the replay and you catch the replay, you do have any questions, please do not be afraid to leave whatever is that question and you're like, nah, this is going to be stupid, this is going to be so lame to ask. You got to ask away. Whatever seems stupid, seems silly, please ask away, right? You are amazing. I am rooting for you. And also make sure that you're doing this for you. Don't do this because somebody is pressuring you or you're feeling oppressed by somebody else and you now want to do this. I need you to do this for yourself, because it begins with self-love. Weight loss begins with self-love. That mindset that I can feel better. I can look better. I love myself more to make sure that I begin to be intentional about the things that I put in my body. I begin to make sure that I'm giving my body the right fuel, the right energy source that it needs. I need to make sure that I'm spending more time, because self-love and self-care is also you working out to make sure that your body is getting the strength, your body is able to move, you're stretching your body, you're working it out, you're giving it all the right things that it needs to be able to live a long and sustainable lifestyle, right? So I just thought that it would be nice to come here and just kind of discuss some of the priorities or the strategies that you need to kind of include, especially if you're someone who is very passionate about 2025 being their weight loss year, because some people have already jumped off that bandwagon. Some people are like, I've jumped off this weight loss bandwagon since I'm just waiting for like my surgery money to be complete. And no shade in that. But I want you to also know that I have friends who have done the surgery, and then you still need that discipline to be able to maintain the lifestyle. Yes, you still need that same discipline. So the difference between you and someone who is going to probably go for surgeries, because they can only do gastric surgery to people who are I think on the BMI charts, their BMI charts, they are 40 and above on the BMI charts, right? So for people who are, your BMI chart is normal, when your calculation, you do your calculation, your index is normal if you're between 18 to 25, right? Anything within 25 to 40, no doctor is going to want to touch you for gastric surgery, that is, right? But anyone above 40 on the chart, then they do the gastric surgery for you, because they feel if you're in the window between 25 to 40, you can actually lose weight the natural way, or you want to do some liposuction, all that kind of stuff. Yes, I did some classes in nutrition, so I'm actually certified to be able to give you that information. So I say all of this to say, when they drop their weight, even before they touch them on the surgery, they have to make sure that they give them a particular timeline to lose and drop certain amounts of pounds naturally by themselves before they go into surgery, because they want to make sure that when you get out of surgery, you are able to sustain the lifestyle. So it's the same discipline that applies, the same discipline that we're all trying to avoid. Now, I just want to get to the quick and easy way. No, there's no quick and easy way in life. One thing I've realized about life is that there's no shortcut. Whatever you think is a shortcut, there's always going to be like a consequence for everything that you do. Every decision that you make in life, there's also always going to be a consequence, right? So you have to learn to fight and pick your battles very wisely. And I say this to say, if you decide that you want to do the gastric surgery route, it's great. I'm happy for you. I encourage you, and I'm rooting for you as well. But I also want you to know that when you do get out of surgery, you're also going to need the same discipline to be able to sustain the lifestyle. So meaning that first things first, for the next couple of, I think about a month or two, you're going to be on like a liquid diet, because the surgery is going to kind of like rewire. Some are going to clamp bind your stomach. Some are going to cut it off 1/4. There are different types of surgery, depends on where you are on the BMI chart, how overweight or obese you are. It now depends on the one you now want to go for, right? So whatever it is that you decide to do, you have to make sure that you are still ensuring that you build that discipline, is what I'm trying to say, because I have clients who also did surgery and now they need the coaching because they need to be able to maintain the lifestyle. So that's why I can definitely speak authoritatively on it. So you have to make sure that you can as well just already build the discipline without even going for the surgery. But even if you do decide to go for the surgery, I definitely understand, especially some people are coming from a lot. Some people are coming from lot more than some others, right? So it's easy for you to say, maybe for instance, you have 50 pounds, while some people have like 100 pounds to lose, and they're like, God, I can't wait patiently for when I will drop 100 pounds, right? Some people are not willing to wait that long. But there's this lady on YouTube, the Dawn Elizabeth. You want to check her out. She lost 100 pounds. Anthony Wosu lost 100 pounds from liquid diet. So lots of people have done it before you from natural routes, right? You just really need to have the discipline to be able to say, I can and I will, if that makes sense. I hope this has been helpful to you. Do not hesitate to share. Once again, do not hesitate to click the thumbs up button if you're still watching up to this moment. I do appreciate you so much for watching. I hope that I will see you tomorrow. I'll also be talking about some myths, some long-term weight maintenance, addressing some weight loss myths, and the use of supplements. I know that there's the use of some drugs now where you can easily lose weight. So people are like, no, ain't nobody got time for working out or all of that. I'm going to be addressing all of that tomorrow, and some other information as well that I want to share with you all. So if you feel like you want to join in, please do not hesitate to set your timers, set your alarms, and I will see you hopefully by God's grace by tomorrow at the same time. 12 noon CST to 1 p.m. is the time that we come to talk about our weight loss and our progress. We're going to be talking about a variety of information, and the more I see that people are interested in this, I might be forced to keep it going. But for now, my goal is just to come for 7 days at a stretch and then just kind of share and hit some targeted areas, especially for people who are interested in losing weight in 2025, because some people need to, I know that some people need to see this to be able to propel to their weight loss success. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this because I feel like it or I'm less busy. I'm doing this because I know that I have to, because some people need this. So it's very, very important. I appreciate you so much for watching and being to the end of this live. I thank you so much. I can't over reiterate it. We've hit our 1 hour mark and it's been amazing being here. Also, please feel free to leave questions in the comment section or any topic that you want me to address. Yes, I think I needed to say that. Any topic that you feel that is going to be best for me to address, especially beginning of this year, because I still have content coming, in the middle of the year that's scheduled to come out. But whatever you think is related to the beginning of this year, because some people are like, beginning of the year is where people begin to make all their New Year resolutions. I want to lose weight. 2025 is my year. I want to go to the gym more. I want to be more healthier. Whatever it is that you know that I need to address, or you feel like you would like me to address it, please do not hesitate to let me know as well in the comment section. And with that being said, I love you. I'm rooting for you. I believe in you. You can do it. Bye. Bye.